Not only is the 2016-2017 budget the country's biggest yet, it's also one that may mean a lot of pain to a majority of Kenyans. In the Finance Bill 2016, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich increased the number of items to be subjected to excise duty. They include kerosene, cosmetics and beauty products, bottled water, as well as all plastic sacks and bags. James Molili from Audit Firm PKF says this will translate to a higher cost of living for ordinary Kenyans once those measures come into effect.
The only rational thing is that me, as a manufacturer of milk or bread, I will realize an increase in my packaging costs. And the only thing I'll do is that I'll have to pass it on to the final consumer.
The average consumer will also feel the pinch at the pump with the upwards adjustment of road maintenance levy by 6 shillings on every litre of petrol and diesel.
Now, the moment you play with the price of fuel, it trickles down to the whole entire economy. You're looking at a case where a farmer has to harvest produce from the farm. He has to transport that produce all the way to the market. If you look at electricity bills, they have an element of fuel. Now, if you're increasing the cost of fuel, are you talking of an increase in electricity prices?
These tax measures, in essence, mean that consumers will have to spend more on similar amounts of goods than they did previously, or buy less with amounts that previously allowed them more. In what the government argues is a move to cushion households against high cost of living, liquefied petroleum gas has now been exempted from value-added tax. The same applies to raw materials used in manufacturing of animal feeds and clothes bought from the export processing zones. Custom duty on energy-efficient stoves has been lowered to 10%, while clothes and shoes bought from EPZs are exempted. A switch to the ad valorem rate of 20% excess duty imposed on imported cars is, however, good news to low-income earners willing to ship in budget cars. The move ensures tax equity as excess duty on imported cars will be pegged at 20% of a car's value.
Obviously, the basic commodities are a priority. You cannot compare life, which comes through basic commodities, as opposed to a motor vehicle. There are other alternative sources of transportation, so it doesn't necessarily mean that life will stop if you don't own a car.
In practical terms, experts argue that what the government has done is to give with one hand and take more with the other, albeit creatively.
How a budget is effective is always assessed from the common wananchi, what we refer to as Wanjiko. And the tricky bit is always a balance of what the government has to give in terms of reprieve in taxation to various individuals against what the government has to take in order to finance the budget.
Out of the 2.3 trillion shillings budget, the taxman is expected to raise close to 1.5 trillion shillings in the 2016-2017 financial year. But at whose expense is the question that begs. Patrick Igunza, Citizen Weekend.